Hello, and welcome to this edition of the Angels of Destiny show. Why is this show called this, you may ask? So I'll tell you. The acceptance of angel is messenger, and the acceptance of destiny is to make firm establish. So my guests and I bring you messages to establish what you need to know in the present. And of course, I love working with angels and the calmness they bring. Now, in a moment, I will introduce you to my wonderful guest, SoFeya SahRa Joseph. But before that, I'd like to say thank you so much for watching the show live at a later date, as it means a lot to both of us to connect with like-minded people. Now, if you've never met me before, then my name is Ray, and I'm the founder of Radiant Angel Energy, and I'm a spiritual guide and healer who is passionate about helping you reconnect with your divine presence and step into your purpose. Now, through angelic Reiki, angel oracle cards, guided meditations, and exploring past and future lives, I support you in healing your past and creating a soul-aligned future. Now, my journey has taught me with the right tools and guidance, we can all connect with our higher selves, embrace transformation, and live a life full of abundance and fulfillment. Now, each episode of this show covers various themes of your journey, a mini guided meditation or an oracle card reading with the wisdom of my wonderful guests, like today's guest, SoFeya SahRa Joseph, about her extraordinary story, The Mother in the Bottle, a revelation that water carries the blueprint of peace. We'll explore the deep connection between water, spirit, and the timeless wisdom of St. Francis of Assisi, and how embodying these teachings can help us find harmony in a divided world. Now, SoFeya is the founder of Imagined Life, a path of self-realisation through water and spirit. An author, mystic, and former Olympic level skating coach, she received the revelation of Imagined Life on October the 3rd, 2016, which was the feast day of St. Francis. Now, through her work, she guides people to embody qualities like trust, love, forgiveness, and peace, turning water into a living blueprint of transformation. Now, she is known as Mother of Imagined Life, and her mission is to help people become instruments of peace in today's world. She'll also be hosting 9 Keys to the Kingdom of Peace, The Way of St. Francis, a 45-day spirit quest starting on the 3rd of October, and that I have the privilege of being a guest speaker on, and we'll learn more about that later. So without further delay, hello, SoFeya, and welcome, warm welcome to the Angels and Destiny show. How are you today?
Great. Thank you so much, Ray, for this beautiful introduction and your soothing voice. It's just like, woo, going right in. Thank you so much for bringing me on this day, actually. And I really love that today is the 22nd. I know it's like a big number, kind of like Mary Magdalene number, and that our episode is for 26. That's like huge. So yeah, I'm very grateful for being here with you today.
Beautiful. Yeah, it is a powerful day with the autumn equinox as well. Mayborn, it's just everything is aligned perfectly for today. So before we get into this fascinating conversation, I want to remind everyone that not only can you share this video, but you can also ask questions, leave comments and thoughts, as both Sophia and I want to be part of this conversation. So please don't be shy. So, Sophia, why don't you tell us more about your journey and about Mother in a Bottle and St. Francis?
Thank you so much. Well, this is obviously my favorite topic, right? So it was actually October 3rd, 2016. It was a beautiful morning, but I barely noticed. I was consumed by anxiety. For 6 months, I felt like I had been dropped out of a plane and a parachute failed to open. Each month, the ground came closer and still no parachute. And finally, I had 1 month left. I had enough money to make just one more mortgage payment. My house was on the market, but no buyers. And even if one showed up now, it would take too long to close. So I sat on the floor and prayed. 3 years prior, I got divorced, received small settlement, and started coaching business from scratch. My business was growing, but not fast enough. And finally, I was 1 month away from losing everything. In that desperation, I reached for a book. When Dyer's The Power of Intention. A quote caught my eye. You receive what you desire for others. The other is a reflection of you. If you desire something for your reflection, then you receive that. And I just knew that to receive it, I had to become it. And suddenly, I remembered Dr. Imoro's words. Water is a blueprint for our reality, which can change with a single positive thought. So I grabbed the pen and I wrote, I'm unlimited abundance I crave. And I placed this paper under my water bottle like an improvised coaster. And as I sipped this water, a vision formed in my mind's eye. Beautiful coasters for charging water, bottles blessed with intention, millions of people from all walks of life drinking water infused with abundance, love, joy, forgiveness, and being transformed. Obsessed with my vision, I invested what little money I had left to create prototypes. And 45 days later, I had money in a bank, keys to a new home, keys to a new life. This vision became I Imagined Life, the path of self-realization through water and spirit. But that was just a beginning. Months later, I was in a meeting with the director of the local interfaith center, explaining I Imagined Life and how it transforms lives. But I could feel it wasn't landing. And suddenly, she was called out of the room. And while I waited for her return, I noticed a book left open on a table. So I leaned in to read. It was the Peace Prayer of St. Francis of Assisi. Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace. I froze. When she returned, I pointed to the page, nearly breathless. This is what I imagined life was all about. But soon, I learned something that shook me. Not only when Dyer was believed by many to be the incarnation of St. Francis, but St. Francis died on October 3rd, 1226. Exactly 790 years to the day I Imagined Life was born. This synchronicity inspired my new husband and me to turn our honeymoon into a pilgrimage to Assisi. We walked the cobbled streets, we prayed in his hermitage, but the most unexpected moment came when our private guide led us to a small church, the one not found on any tourist maps. Inside was an art installation. Rows of crystal clear cylinders hang from above, and they looked exactly like the water bottle I had designed, hanging in the shape of a giant omega, descending from the unseen alpha above. At first, I just stood there, trying to take it all in. And then I noticed something that stopped me cold. Inside each vessel was a sculpted form, soft, glowing, feminine, and depending on the angle, she appeared differently. A maiden, a mother-to-be, a dove, Maria, the Mother of God, the Holy Spirit in form. And then I was offered the chance to hold one of the forms. So I stepped into the center of the Omega, and in one hand I held the mother, and in another my bottle, the one that started this entire journey, the one born of desperation and prayer, the one that carried water, blessed with an intention. And in that moment, I understood she is the living water, the womb, the Holy Spirit. And when we drink water charged with an imagined, when we sip it with intention and awareness, we are receiving her, giving birth to her Christ child through us again and again. And from that day on, I never saw a bottle of water the same way again. Because the bottle wasn't just holding water, it was holding a blueprint of a new humanity. And she was asking me to carry it forward. And here we are.
Wow, that is that is a beautiful story, and I just love the way it just wove into how your life unfolded at that point to where you are now. It's you know, you don't want to say miracles, but it's so much synchronicity, as if as if it was meant to be. That you created this pathway.
It's just really mind blowing. It's mind blowing, the whole thing, how it came to be. And I share this kind of like a snippet of it because, of course, there is so much more. And the synchronicity has just been going nonstop, guiding this process and guiding the unfoldment. And in the beginning, when I received emotions, I'm going to show you what emotion looks like. So this is the coaster, right? That we're charging the water on. And that was the vision of receiving these coasters. So the coasters, okay, so I'm going to share. So the coaster opens, and there we have it's like a card. And I'm here right now on the quality of appreciation. So I'm appreciating being here with you. And of course, I had no idea that this is the quality I'm going to be on. So imagine stands for I am, imagine, magnetize, and intent. And it's every I imagine, there are 50 of them. Every I imagined is a quality of the spirit. So basically, the way we look at it this way, as Christ consciousness, the spirit being love, and who we are as spiritual beings having a human experience. And so as spiritual beings having a human experience, as spiritual beings, our nature is also love. And the challenge of this is, on one hand, well, yeah, I'm love, but then on the other hand, it's really a very vague concept. And when we speak of Christ consciousness, that's even more vague concept. And when people say, I want to be Jesus-like, that's like really vague concept. So it's really hard to be like something, but you don't know what that is. Or you have very kind of watercolor idea of what it is. So one of the major things about St. Francis, and why I think this came with St. Francis, because St. Francis was really a pioneer about not preaching something, but actually, rather than preaching, being. So he was really about don't uh, talk about love, be love. So this is where Imagined Life is coming in because it's actually going in onto the place. How can we make this relatable that everyone can actually be that ideal? And so this is where the revelation came on October 3rd, is that love is like a muscle. And the truth of the matter is our bodies have over 600 muscles, and which one out of these muscles is love? Well, they're all love, but all muscles have different purposes. So bicep is a muscle, and so is a quadricep is also a muscle. But obviously, a bicep is responsible for my hand, and a quadricep is responsible for my leg. So it has different functions, and so in that way, Imagines took love into different pieces. So appreciation is actually love. And I have here willingness is love, vibrant health is love, abundance is love, forgiveness is love. So there are 50 qualities of love, but they have slightly different functions. And on top of that, all of us contain them within us, but our ideas about what these qualities mean determine how we show up in our lives and what we do. And on top of that, each of these qualities also hold our trauma, conditioning, mental conditioning, society conditioning, etc., which actually limits us from the embodiment of the wholeness of who we are. And one of the things that's really funny is when we speak about wholeness. If you take a pen right now and write the word wholeness down, just write it down, and you will see the spelling of it. And then circle the first three letters of the word wholeness.
Ooh.
That's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So this is all about who. And this who is actually a limitation of the whole. So the whole is actually I am. But we don't live in I am, we live in who I am. And this who I am is a small part of I am. And the smaller who is, the more actually challenges we experience in our lives. And these challenges are experienced in every one of these qualities. So the qualities like willingness, appreciation, kindness, compassion, forgiveness, acceptance, success. I mean, take success, for example. Oh, I'm a failure because blah, blah, blah. Well, God, Spirit, Jesus, the Holy Mother, however you want to relate to that, cannot be anything less than success. That means nothing but success exists. And that means that everything that we see less than success is our ideas that limit us. And that's what keeps us separate from the whole. And so Imagined Life is bringing these qualities into our awareness and allow us to start to take them as glasses through which we see the world. Because what we see our world through is through the lens of who I am. We're not seeing the world through the lens of I am. We're seeing the world through the lens of who I am. And we respond to it in the way we see it. So if we change the lens through which we see, then our world begins changing, right? So our big purpose here is to change the lens through which we see. And we don't change it all at once, we change it a piece at a time. So, and because we drink water all the time, it just makes sense to pair it together because we're so distracted today in the world. There is so much stuff happening. So it's very hard to stay focused and to remember to see the world in a different way. But every time we grab that bottle of water, we're reminded again and again and again, this is who I am, my higher who I am, inequality. Because inequality, like in appreciation, as appreciation, it reminds me to see the world through the eyes of appreciation, or to see the world through the eyes of kindness or trust, etc. So, and as I do begin seeing the world in that way, it also allows me to identify where I am and what my beliefs and judgments are about the quality, and allows me to contemplate and reflect and ask myself a question. Is it really true that the world, like this way, let's say trust, right? I'm going to speak of trust because trust is going to be our first quality in the San Francisco challenge. So much stuff is happening in our world, right? And it's like, I can't be trusting. Trust becomes a really huge issue. But spirit is trust 100%. So we have created some conditions and meaning around trust that actually separates us from our higher self and from God. And by starting to look at it in this new perspective, we can identify our limitations, how we're seeing it, how we see the world through the eyes of who I am as limited way of trust, and maybe see something different. And the moment that perception changes, we can show up in the world in a different way. And that's when we begin healing our relationship with the world, our relationship with God, our relationship with each other, and begin creating more peace. So that's kind of like in a nutshell what this practice is all about. The other part about water is that it's actually, I'm not Catholic, but I really love the sacrament of holy water, where in the Last Supper, when Jesus was speaking to his disciples and saying, drink this to remember me. And this is exactly what imagined life is about drink this water and remember who I am. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that is amazing, and it really does help you shift that perspective about it, because obviously nowadays it is so big to be the I am presence. It is a huge thing in a lot of circles, but the way you've explained it makes much more sense as to why you use I am rather than who I am. And again, it's something that when people start waking up to that and realizing that, they then teach that to their children. So their children start off with I am rather than who am I, which then leads on to them being more fulfilled, more whole, more at peace, more at love with themselves and the world and everything around them.
Yes, exactly. And this is really the magic of this revelation. And you know, I'm not a genius that just came up with this. It was a revelation that I have received. And when you wake up to this, it's so simple and so magical and so doable at the same time. And I wanted to say that, you know, I just wrote this email just recently about peace and what's happening in our world, and you know, people want peace and they're upset about what's going on in Palestine, what's going on in Ukraine, what's going on in whatever country you're at. There's division. I'm in the United States, and now we're being pulled apart between the right and the left, Democrats and Republicans, and who is right on whatever. And you see, I am as all of it. So there's no separation. It's all one. And when we began, like, you know, pointing the finger, we want this to change. We want this peace to happen, right? And we're trying to find the culprit, who is behind it, like who made this problem, and let's get rid of that person who created that problem. The truth is, the world kept on eliminating those people, those things that have created those problems, and somehow we're not any better as a result. So it doesn't matter how much we get rid of something that we think is the problem. The truth of the matter is the problem is here. Like, you take your finger and you go this way, you're the problem. So it's not there the problem, it's you're the problem. And you're the one looking in the mirror. So you can't point finger to the mirror and say you've got to change and you're the problem. So this is the invitation for us to step in and own it, that the problem is you. Now, you may say, well, I didn't start this war. I didn't do any of these things. I'm a beautiful, loving, kind person. So that's not really true. And I'm going to ask you this question right now. Have you ever felt angry? Have you ever felt upset? If you're saying yes, then you are the problem. Because every single time you're upset and angry, you're not at peace.
No, and I don't think there's anybody in the world who can ever say that they have never been upset or angry. No one.
Well, and when we feel upset and angry, oftentimes we say, well, yeah, I'm justified in being upset and angry because he, she, it did this, and that was wrong. Well, whenever you pointed your finger at something and said that was wrong, that is your interpretation of what is happening. It is, and that interpretation is your belief about how things should be, which is not in alignment with the spirit. And I have no idea why spirit, God, decided that event has to be this way. I don't know what purpose it is serving right now. And so my job, and the only thing that I'm responsible for, is to look in and ask myself, why am I angry? what is my belief that is defining this thing as wrong? Now, it's difficult to do that when we're not on equality, but if I'm on equality of, let's say I'm on equality of appreciation and I'll forget appreciation, trust. If I'm on equality of trust and I know that spirit is trust and now I'm really angry about this and this, I can't trust that. This is the question, what is your belief about trust? What do you think it should be? And then ask yourself, is it really true? Is there any other way to see it? And if you have that answer, ask yourself, is there another way to see it? And what is there another way to see it? And keep asking that question, and you will be amazed at how many different answers you will come up with. And at the end, you may going to actually discover that some answer that you were not aware of. And the magic that comes is that once you find this new way, you will start feeling peace inside. And we go through the entire process. That's just one aspect of the process, um, because we go through additional process of self-forgiveness. We'll do forgiveness about forgiving yourself. I said self-forgiveness. You're forgiving yourself for limiting belief that you were holding on to. You adopted this belief at some point, and at some point it was needed. Maybe you needed the protection. Maybe you needed to believe that things should be that way, and it served you at a certain time. But the question is it still serving you? Or maybe not anymore, but you're still believing the same thing that limits you. And so when we start learning these processes, when we start learning why we believe this stuff, no one wants to be hurt, no one wants to be raped. It's hard. I grew up in a family where my parents were so violent towards each other, and me too. So whenever the thing would break out, I'd be like under the table, hiding somewhere, and also believing it was my fault and scared. And it was like I didn't want to live in that. So, and if you ask my parents, are you like for peace? Absolutely, they want peace. They're not even aware that what they're doing is creating more non-peace into the world. They had no idea. And so every time that we experience any kind of upset, any kind of anger, any kind of what my teachers would say, school is in session when you're out of balance, it's not a time to point a finger. It's the time to remember that who you truly are is loving spirit, love, and that what you want is you want more peace and more love in your life, and examine what your belief and judgment is about the situation. And if you were more love, more trust, how would you see the situation and how would you respond to it from that part of you? And this is how we create a more peaceful world.
And that's a brilliant explanation. It makes so much sense. And for anyone watching, do listen to this back, and really listen to the words, because they really do speak a lot of truth. That is going on, and this collective energy that creates everything that goes on in the world.
You know, yesterday I had such a moment that was like, oh wow, I didn't like I've never seen it kind of this way. And at the same time, like I'm saying the stuff and it's probably like nothing new really what I'm saying. It's like, yeah, I've always known this. So this is the same kind of thing that happened yesterday. I have a little bit of not a little bit, but I have a hearing challenge. And I wear hearing aids. And the hearing aids, the way they're designed, they block your ear canal completely. So I receive all the sounds through the hearing aid. Now, because it blocks the ear, it traps moisture inside of the ear and it irritates the ear canal. And so the what you experience is itchy ear that you want to go. No peace, okay? So I've noticed over time that if I unconsciously just pull out the hearing aid and I just scratch my ear many times, I would have an ear infection that would be excruciatingly painful. And so I know that when I feel this ear itching, I have to pause and take it out and just gently rub it and just kind of be with it and not just go on impulse. And in this moment, when this happened yesterday, and unfortunately I did do this to my ear, but I instantly remembered it. So I just started and I was like, stop! It was stop. And in this moment, I had this revelation that the truth is there is a desire, and the desire is unconscious. And if we respond to desire unconsciously, we create pain, ear infection. But if we become conscious of the desire, then we can actually ask ourselves, what is it that I actually want to create? And maybe you will take that action in a little bit different way. And so what came forward is that you might not gonna like this, what I'm just gonna say right now, but there is no evil in the world. Okay. So you may want to believe that there isn't. The world is conscious and unconscious. And what we call evil is unconscious. And the only way that we can, I can't even say fix it because there is nothing to fix. The only thing that we can do to bring more peace is to become more conscious. So this rising of collective consciousness that begins with you who is watching this video right now. I am pointing that finger at you right now because you're listening to this, and so now you're a partner in crime. And it is your, mine, our responsibility to raise our own consciousness to a higher level, to become more aware. No, we don't know all those beliefs and judgments that are being hidden in our subconscious mind. And most of them were created because of some trauma that we had experienced as children, or maybe even those who believe in past lives and stuff, past lives or whatever, or collective consciousness that we are taking in. But the truth is, any one issue that you become conscious of, one belief that you become conscious of, it's an opportunity for the whole collective to rise just a notch higher. And we can all do that. And the number one thing to do that is become aware of your opportunities when you get upset and angry. Every time you get out of balance is your opportunity to ask yourself why you're out of balance and what do you want instead. And there is challenge in that. And the challenge in that is that it's not as difficult to identify being out of balance when it hurts, when you're upset and angry. It's not hard because it's painful. What's challenging is when you're excited and happy and you feel like, yeah, this is right. This is that hard moment to realize that you are out of balance. Because being excited and happy is not being in balance. Because every time that you're going into this happiness thing is because you have a belief about how things should be, and your belief is kind of being affirmed, but it's still a belief. It's not necessarily true. So the challenge is to become really, really present to everything that you feel, upset or happy, and identify what belief are you holding. And that's peace is being balanced. Peace is about presence and balance, not happy, not upset.
Beautiful. A good reminder for all of us. And thank you so, so much for reminding us of that, which again are things we really deeply know, but we just have to be reminded and remember them to actually come into them as ourselves. Now, as you know, I do angel oracle cards and guided meditations, and each week I like to ask my guests whether they would like me to do a mini guided meditation or pull an oracle card for themselves and those watching. So, SoFeya, what would you like me to do?
Great question. And I think I'll go with the guided meditation.
Perfect. We can do a guided meditation, but we're also going to do a card as well because I'm going to do the guided meditation from the card. Because I just like playing with cards as all of us do. So let's see what we need to know for our highest good and where this meditation is going to take us on our journey. So it'll only be a short meditation. Oh, this is so perfect. So if you would like to close your eyes. And as you do so, take a deep breath in, and on the out breath, just release everything that doesn't need to be in this space. Take another deep breath in, and on the out breath, just release what doesn't need to be here. And allow your breathing to fall into its natural rhythm. Every in-breath relaxing you more, and every out-breath just releasing. And just think about relaxing your whole body. Think about relaxing your whole body from the top of your head to the tips of your toes, all the way down your arms to your fingertips. For when you think about relaxing, so you will relax. Give yourself permission and allow yourself to relax. And just take your awareness to your head and just see, feel, imagine or know the whole of your head starting to relax. That relaxation moving down the back of your head, the sides of your head, down your face, all the way down to your neck muscles relaxing as you allow that relaxation to move down into your shoulders. As you allow that relaxation to move further down your arms to your hands and your fingers, just feeling so relaxed. As this relaxation now moves into your upper body and you feel all your chest muscles start to relax, all your stomach muscles relax, the whole of your back relaxing. As this relaxation moves down into your hips, your pelvis, your buttocks, moving all the way down your legs to your feet and your toes. And your whole body is just so relaxed. And I'd like you now to engage your imagination and see, feel, imagine or know yourself in a beautiful orchard. Maybe an orchard full of apples or pears, bright fruit that's ready to release, to come down from the trees. And you're there with other people, all of you working together. The sun's shining, there's laughter, there's joy, there's happiness, there's a feeling of peace, of being in the present moment, of being in the here and now. Knowing you're going to be gathering the abundance from these trees, the nourishment that's going to sustain yourself and others. And you work together, maybe some are putting sticks up into the tree, others are holding blankets or covers as the apples or the pears fall. They get put into baskets, and everyone is just working in synchronicity with each other. It's as if these trees just won't stop bearing fruit. It's like there's infinite abundance, just literally coming all the time, abundance pouring into your life. And as you collect all this fruit, you feel so grateful, so alive, so connected to nature, to community, to the others around you. You're all working together. You're all creating that abundance together. Enjoying that time. Just feel that enjoyment, that abundance. Allow it to flow through you. And eventually you do have to stop as the day begins to come to an end, and you look at all the baskets, so many baskets full of fruit, and you take one of those pieces of fruit out of the basket, and as you bite into it, you give thanks. You give thanks to the tree that has borne this fruit. You give thanks to nature for the abundance that she provides. You give thanks to all the people with you for the abundance of love and community that you all give each other. And as you eat that piece of fruit, you know that you have infinite abundance, and that abundance is always pouring into your life. You just have to be present for it and know that it is there within you, around you. It is you. And now I'm going to count from 1 to 5. And by the time I get to 5, you will be back fully present in your body in the here and now, bringing back that infinite abundance. So coming back now 1, coming further back 2, all the way back 3, 4, start moving your body, wiggle your fingers and toes. 5, fully back, fully present, open your eyes, drink some water if you need to, and welcome back. So, if you've been watching this live or the replay, please do let me know in the comments how this meditation was for you. How was it, SoFeya?
It was very relaxing and nice, and thank you so much.
Ah, you're welcome. And of course, I had to laugh when the card came out. Bear in mind what we've been talking about, because the card is infinite abundance. Abundance is pouring into your life.
Yeah, abundance is, I love that.
And that's how we started the show, with you writing down about the abundance.
Yes, yes.
Full,
And
full,
that was the first quality that I have written down exactly. How perfect is that? Well, the synchronicity.
I know, you just cannot make this stuff up. So, SoFeya, do you have any insights or thoughts or last words of wisdom to leave our viewers?
Well, I would, but how about an invitation?
Yes.
So we're going to have a challenge that's coming up. It's called Nine Keys to the Kingdom of Peace, the Way of St. Francis. And we're actually going to be working on the prayer of St. Francis because that's how the whole imagined life started. Now that with the unlimited abundance card confirmation, back to that. So the prayer of St. Francis, Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace, whether it is hatred, let me sow love, whether it is injury, pardon, whether it is doubt, trust, I'm going to say, instead of faith, where there is despair instead of hope, strength, where there is darkness, light, where there is sadness, joy. So there are 9 qualities of spirit in the prayer, and we are going to do 45-day challenge of embodying these qualities, which, just like I shared, we're going to examine all those beliefs and judgments that you are holding in those lenses, and clear those lenses and remove the stuff so that you actually really find more peace in your life. We're going to do one quality at a time. It takes 5 days to embody the quality. You guys going to receive images in the PDF, and you're going to be drinking your water, obviously, and charging it on. We're also going to have 9 amazing speakers that will be introducing these qualities. And one of these speakers you are looking at right now in this moment. And I'm so honored and grateful. I'm on the quality of appreciation. So I'm really appreciating you saying yes to this calling. And Raya's gonna take the quality of light. So this is like we're closing the whole challenge with the quality of light. So this is from the prayer from darkness. Let me so like Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace, uh, whether it is darkness, let me sow light. So you're going to be taking us from darkness to light, and light is the quality that you have chosen to take. Why did you choose that quality?
Um, I think it's when I looked at all the qualities, because as I've explained, St. Francis, it means a lot to me anyway. He is one of my guides, and I played him as a child on stage, which is where I first met him. but light just sort of like stood out for me, and it's one of the things that I always try to embody myself, is to be the light for people, to be the guide. My name Ray, although it's spelled Rae, you think of ray of sunshine, which is light. And people say that my smile lights up. So it just sort of like came to me. It's like, oh, okay, yes, that resonates so much with me. So that's kind of like how I chose light, because it just jumped out and it's like, oh no, you need to do light.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing that. So this is what we're kind of going to be doing. I know there's gonna be a link, right? I'll give you the
Yes.
link so people can join the challenge. It begins on October 3rd, so just about a couple of weeks. And the doors are open already, and people started enrolling, and it's really exciting. There is a process before, like when you enroll, there is an assessment where you get to identify where you actually are and where you want to be. So it's kind of like setting the intention for the whole thing. And then on October 3rd, we'll start with the quality of trust, because guess what? Without trust, there is no light. So, and we're going to be walking this journey together for 45 days. And the challenge is also recorded. So if you miss a day, you can watch it on the recording. And also, it's not something that if you miss day one, you cannot come in like on a day three. So some people are going to be missing a week because they have something else. So you can like jump in anytime and do as many days as you can. So there is no like rule about that. We're going to be just the processes every day. There is going to be a process that will take you from where you are to a little bit higher level of that quality. So it's a guided process, not even a meditation, but like a contemplation. It's the very powerful questions that I will be taking you through. And then our amazing speakers are going to be sharing stories and really inspiring you along the journey. So it's it's not like monotone, but it's exciting. Different energies coming in and people coming from all over the world doing that. So it's just really kind of the thing that we are not doing it just for ourselves, but this is a thing that we're doing it as a collective, because every false belief, every judgment, every projection that we release in this challenge is a step in creating more peace in our world. So you truly are going to be partners in being instruments of peace. So I hope that you guys will join us.
Yeah, and I will put the link to the challenge in the comments after the show. And those people that are on my newsletter, you will be getting a special link for it. So if you're not signed up to my newsletter yet, then do sign up for my newsletter, because there is a little special little link there for you, a little gift. And of course, some of the speakers will be offering gifts as well for you when you join. So apart from the challenge, SoFeya, if people want to connect with you, how do they do that?
But they can find me on Facebook. And so SoFeya, you can see my name is like just moving across. So SoFeya SahRa Joseph, you guys can find me on Facebook. And th- there's a link to my website as well. And besides the challenge, you can also get kind of gift. I have recorded a course that is called From Rock to Diamond, Success Alchemy, and it actually teaches you how to embody the quality. And the first module teaches you how to embody the quality. So that first module is free. And then if you want to know, like, but why does it work? Is there like some law behind it, or how the mind works? Then there are more modules, and you can sign up for that. That's not free, but you might get a special offer for it, but the first module is free and you will know exactly how to embody the quality. And of course, you're going to learn that in the San Francisco Challenge as well. And you will get 9 qualities to embody as well.
Yeah,
Thank you.
beautiful. And I will put all those links in the comments so you can go straight to them. So thank you so much, SoFeya, for sharing your wisdom. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. I've loved listening to your wisdom, and it's something even I'm going to go back and listen to because to take in more of the words that you've said. So thank you so much for that. And of course, for everyone watching, if you'd like to continue deepening your connection with angels, then I do have a free 5-day angel connection journey to help you open your channel and start receiving clear messages from your angels and guides. And for those of you who'd love our ongoing support and community, my Angel Wings membership is a beautiful space where we come together for live guided meditation, spiritual growth, and soul nourishing practices for you to help support you heal, connect, and live with purpose. And also, you'll receive access to a beautiful library of paths, meditations, and teachings. So you always have guidance and support. And we have a very active WhatsApp group where everyone just supports each other so much. And of course, if you are feeling ready for a truly personal transformation, then my Soul Path Discovery program with personal sessions is a powerful journey of healing and self-discovery to help you release old patterns, reconnect with your soul's gifts, and align with the life of purpose, abundance, fulfillment that you always meant to live. And again, all these links will be in the comments so you can explore whichever feels right for you. And again, thank you everyone so much for watching. And I'd like to invite you to share this video, as I'm sure there are more people who feel lost and want to get clear on their destiny just like you. And of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, then please feel free to subscribe and hit that bell button to be notified of when the show goes live or I post new guided meditations. And remember, every time you like, share, comment on anything I post, any of my guests like SoFeya posts or any of my other guests, every time you like, share, comment, you're helping bring that beautiful web, weaving that web together that we can expand and actually take us all to that higher dimension to bring that unconditional love and peace on earth. And I look forward to you joining me same time, same place next week. Take care, everyone. Bye.